Right now at 5, a sea of navy and green floods Seattle as the 12 show up and the trophy rolls out. The Seahawks take a victory lap through the heart of downtown as the Super Bowl 60 champions.
A historic day in Seattle as the streets are filled with fans welcoming home the Seahawks. I'm Jeremy Harris with video and reaction for people who attended today's parade.
Head coach Mike McDonald reflects on the team's journey to a title.
This is the vision that we had for the Seahawks. I got goosebumps just thinking about it.
His message to fans who have stuck by the Hawks through thick and thin. And dozens of businesses are benefiting from extra foot traffic.
It's just the kind of momentum that our city kind of needs right now.
The Seahawks parade and ongoing celebrations are bringing a big business boost to many Seattle neighborhoods. We take a look at the impact.
KOMO News at 5 starts now.
A moment Seattle won't soon forget. Thousands of 12s filled the streets to cheer on the Seahawks and relive a championship season. Good evening, I'm Preston Phillips.
And I'm Molly Shen. It has been electric all around town today after perhaps the largest parade crowd in city history. The day kicked off with the team hosting a Super Bowl trophy celebration at Lumen Field. Players, coaches, and executives all taking the stage, hoisting the coveted Lombardi trophy before the fans, thanking them for 50 seasons of support, but especially for this year.
I just want to say we love the 12s. You guys are the best in the world, and now we're the best football team in the world. World champs.
Moments after that ceremony, the team loaded onto military vehicles to begin their victory lap through Seattle.
And our KOMO crews were on the ground throughout the day, capturing all the excitement along with celebrations that continue long after. KOMO's Jeremy Harris kicks off tonight's team coverage live along 4th Avenue with what we saw and what we heard. Jeremy?
Well, and Preston, you just said it. This is a day that people who came here are not going to forget for the rest of their lives. As for the street here, 4th Avenue, this was where it all took place, and crews have just reopened it. You can see these barricades are now off on the sidewalk. They're going to come pick these up later and keep cleaning up the streets, but everything back to normal down here downtown after what was simply an incredible day in Seattle. After a season of watching the Seahawks win again and again, this was a chance for the team to watch their fans say thank you.
I'm excited to see JSN, Sam Darnold. I'm really proud of him.
It just feels unreal. I just feel like we always get so close, but then we just never quite make it.
The streets of Seattle lined with excitement and energy on a bright Seattle day.
Usually it's kind of gloomy here because it's always raining, but today it's so nice out and it feels amazing.
It took work to get the city ready. Around 7 a.m., crews put up these barricades along 4th Avenue through the heart of the city. Police were on staff from around the state to keep people safe.
Let's do it again next year.
It was amazing. It was like a dream come true. Like, I can't even explain it. I can just feel the whole city coming together.
It was a victory for the team and a win for a city that needed one.
It is Seattle at its best.
Now, as you can imagine, getting almost a million people or a million people in and out of the city was no easy task, and it certainly jammed up the roads and the transit systems, but at this point it seems like everything is getting back to normal a few hours after the ceremony wrapped up. Back to you.
That is impressive, Jeremy. Thank you. In the middle of the parade route, right in the heart of downtown Seattle by 4th Avenue and Olive Way, KOMO's Stella Sun spoke with fans who traveled from near and far to witness this moment in Seattle sports history. Stella.
Molly, and the turnout today really proves how passionate the Seahawks fan base really is. I spoke with the fan who flew in from out of state to be here. He tells me that the last time there was a Seahawks Super Bowl parade in 2014, he couldn't make it because he was getting ready to deploy to Afghanistan. But this time around, he was able to experience it with other 12s. In the heart of downtown Seattle, near Westlake Center. A sea of blue and green. 12s watching from above, even climbing on top of crosswalk signs. All of these fans coming to witness the Seahawks bring home a second Lombardi trophy.
To see us win another Super Bowl for this city, It's amazing.
Some ditched class.
And I skipped school to be here.
Others ditched work.
The whole city is out here. You know, all of Washington is behind our boys.
Some catching a flight to be here.
The last time that the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, I was in the military, and I was in a bar in North Carolina watching it, and I was deploying to Afghanistan the next day. And I was like, you know, if they ever did that again, I'd love to go to the parade. So they won on Sunday. We got tickets, flew out here last night, come for the parade, and we're flying back home tomorrow.
Fans say creating moments like this are worth remembering.
Super special. And creating memories with these guys.
Now, this will not only leave a lasting memory for fans who came out here today, it'll also leave a lasting positive impact for a lot of the businesses that stayed open to serve the tens of thousands of folks who came out here. We're live in downtown Seattle. Stella Sun, KOMO News.
All right, thanks, Stella. And as you can imagine, social media is blowing up with 12s posting about the championship ceremony and victory parade. Players can be seen interacting with fans and celebrating on stage as fans cheered them on indoors and outside Lumen Field. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network even shared today's activity in comparison to an average morning.
Here is a spectacular view of the massive crowds today from the KOMO 4 drone. Hundreds of thousands of people eagerly waiting for the Seahawks to roll by. Getting a good view required leaving home super early this morning to snag a parking spot or deal with that packed public transit and then stake out a spot along 4th Avenue.
Now the 12s are continuing their celebrations late into the afternoon and evening. The popular sports bar Queen Anne Beer Hall is among the many businesses benefiting from the extra foot traffic today. And that's where KOMO's Jackie Kent is live this evening. She's been digging into the economic boost. Jackie?
Yeah, Preston, as you can imagine, a lot of people don't want the fun times to end. And for many of them, that means making a day out of it in Seattle and spending money at bars, restaurants, coffee shops, among many other places. In fact, the owner of Queen Anne Beer Hall this week told me that major celebrations like this one and all the foot traffic that brings is crucial for many Seattle restaurants. Beyond the victory parade, the Seahawks faithful are keeping the hype train rolling from Pioneer Square to Queen Anne.
The 12s are here. Everyone's having the time of their life. We are just loving this moment. This does not happen often, as you know. And we are here. Let's do it.
Hours earlier, KOMO News was at 4th and Pine as people stopped into downtown stores and coffee shops while waiting for the parade to start. James Cito with the Downtown Seattle Association explained if the estimates are correct of about 1 million visitors in one day. That's the momentum the area needs, and it's a primer for welcoming an estimated 750,000 visitors this summer for the World Cup.
Our visitor counts have been really strong the last 12 months, and this is a continuation of that.
And now that everybody's back, we're just celebrating with them and trying to make as much pizza and keep up with the crowds.
DeLeo's pizza owner John DeLeo says Occidental Park and Pioneer Square is benefiting from the crowds, even though it is blocks from the parade route. They prepared enough dough for 400 pizzas after getting 3 times their usual numbers on Sunday when fans came to watch the Super Bowl.
Everybody's just excited to have action in Seattle. Seattle's just gone through some struggles over the past 5 years, and we came here because we knew it was a good investment moving forward.
Businesses happy to get a slice of the business boost that Seattle sports bring as the celebrations continue.
People are making core memories that will last for the rest of their life. We get to be part of that. That's the best part of this whole thing.
Such a fun day in many neighborhoods. The DSA does tell me it will take them a few days to get that final tally of just how many people went into downtown for that parade today. If it does turn out that it is up close to that 1 million estimate that we keep hearing, that would be just under a third of the total number of visitors to the downtown core for the entire month of December. So, of course, we'll keep you posted as those numbers come in. For now, live at Queen Anne Beer Hall, Jackie Kent, KOMO News.
Jackie, thank you. That brings us to our KOMO Pulse poll. You can scan the QR code there on your screen to participate. Tonight, we are asking, do you think The Seahawks will win the Super Bowl next year. This is a live look at the results. 73% of you, majority here, say yes. 27% say no. Again, if you'd like to weigh in, just scan the QR code there on your screen. That'll take you directly to the story on KOMOnews.com.
If you missed the parade today, we've got you covered. It is available for streaming right now on the KOMO YouTube channel, along with all of our extended coverage. Just scan the QR code here on your screen, and it'll take you directly to the site.
Some very good news for drivers along Highway 2. WashDOT says the highway is fully back open, well ahead of schedule. WashDOT was able to get the highway back open about a month earlier than expected. You might remember those historic floods we saw back in December that wiped out parts of Highway 2. But because crews worked around the clock, they were able to connect Leavenworth to Skycomish again.
I'm excited to go over and drive through the canyon because it's one of my favorite drives. It's just spectacularly beautiful. So I'll be glad to see it again.
Repairs aren't completely done yet. WashDOT says they do have some additional work to do this summer. While they didn't give details, they did say the work may require additional closures they'll announce later.
A rowdy demonstration forced a brief pause during a Tacoma City Council meeting as protesters called on city leaders to take a stronger stance against federal immigration enforcement. One of the main demands is for city leaders to revoke the business license of the Northwest Ice Processing Center. Demonstrators showed up to give public testimony at City Council chambers last night, saying they want Tacoma leaders to clearly state that ICE operations are not welcome in the city.
We want them to say very firmly, either in a resolution or from the dais in like a public-facing statement, you know, we do not stand for this in our city. Even if we can't legally force ICE out, we're confirming to you that this is not what we believe in.
City leaders say they are taking a pragmatic approach to federal immigration enforcement activity, including by funding legal defense resources for detainees.
Also in Pierce County, a big boost for affordable housing. The state is providing a grant for more than $2.7 million for 3 affordable housing projects. The money will support 400-plus affordable homes in Puyallup, Spanaway, and Frederickson. The state recently announced a $54.5 million grant statewide supporting 70 housing projects. It's estimated that money will help create more than 4,500 new affordable homes. Tracking cryptocurrency when used for crime. Still ahead here on KOMO News at 5, the issues law enforcement is running into in cases like the search for Nancy Guthrie. Plus, a surprise U.S. military plan triggers an airspace closure over El Paso, the confusion that led to the 8-hour disruption.
And hi there, everybody. Still a beautiful evening underway post-parade, but our weather luck changing in time for Friday the 13th. I'll explain. My forecast is just ahead.
Super Bowl celebrations are continuing in Tacoma tonight, where fans are lined up outside of Dick's Sporting Goods for a chance to meet Cooper Kupp and get his autograph.
KOMO News continues after this.
Detained in Rio Rico, Arizona for questioning in the search for Nancy Guthrie has been released. According to authorities, the man in question has been on the radar of law enforcement. Sources say the FBI identified him through cell phone and traffic data. The man was pulled over about an hour south of Tucson, was detained for 6 hours. He's a delivery driver, and he may have delivered packages to Guthrie's neighborhood. The focus now remains on that doorbell camera footage, hoping anyone can recognize that person.
$6 million in Bitcoin is the ransom that Nancy Guthrie's family reportedly agreed to pay for her safe return. As of now, that has not happened.
But if it is paid, can law enforcement track that money? David Ochoa with our sister station in Salt Lake City asked an expert.
This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
The family of Nancy Guthrie announced last weekend that they would pay the $6 million ransom, all in Bitcoin. And there's probably a reason why it was asked for in cryptocurrency.
Dark web and the criminal underground, they were way ahead of the curve when it came to cryptocurrency because of the decentralized nature of it.
Brandon Amacher is the director of the Emerging Tech Policy Lab at Utah Valley University. And he says criminals like cryptocurrency because it allows them to do deals online and do them anonymously. So does that mean there's no way to track the ransom if it's paid?
Possibly. It depends on how savvy this person is. Sometimes what you'll find is that people think that they're more savvy than they actually are.
Amacher says they could be caught by accidentally associating with a wallet that isn't anonymous, or if investigators tie together multiple wallets being used to launder the funds. However, if the kidnapper takes proper security measures, Amaker says it's possible to get away with it. But what do those measures entail?
How hard is it for someone to make sure that they've dotted their I's, crossed their T's, they make no mistakes, and they can get away with this?
If you know where to look and you know you've been in this world for long enough, you can probably develop the know-how.
However, he thinks the likelihood of them slipping up and getting caught is high, just because of how many eyes are on this case.
There's a saying in law enforcement that's, the bad guys have to get it right 100% of the time. We only have to get it right once.
Well, we're learning more about this morning's sudden closure of El Paso's airspace and subsequent reversal. The Pentagon planned to test a laser that can shoot down drones used by Mexican drug cartels, but it raised concern by the FAA for commercial air safety. So a meeting on the issue was scheduled for later this month, but the Pentagon forged ahead, prompting the FAA to shutter the airspace. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says cartel drones led to the closure and that a threat was neutralized. El Paso city leadership is reportedly upset that no one communicated with them. House Republicans rushed to approve legislation that would require Americans to provide proof of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote in federal elections. It's called the Save America Act. It would also require Americans to show a valid photo ID before voters can cast ballots. This all comes ahead of the midterm elections. Supporters say this is to ensure only U.S. citizens participate in the voting process. Those against it warn it would create new barriers for Americans by making it harder to vote. Legislation was approved today in a 218 to 213 vote, but now faces an uphill battle in the Senate.
The Justice Department is fighting accusations tonight that it is running a cover-up for possible co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein by redacting their names from the files.
As Attorney General, you're siding with the perpetrators and you're ignoring the victims. That will be your legacy unless you act quickly to change course. You're running a massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Department of Justice.
I'm a career prosecutor. And despite what the ranking member said, I have spent my entire career fighting for victims, and I will continue to do so. I am deeply sorry for what any victim has been through, especially as a result of that monster.
Tensions were high at the House Judiciary Committee hearing. Democratic lawmakers sparred with Attorney General Pam Bondi, shouting over each other at times. The Justice Department says some of the files it received from the FBI were already redacted. DOJ leaders insist they followed the Epstein Files Transparency Act and blame the Biden administration, accusing it of sitting on the files for 4 years and doing nothing.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell joins us now. What a huge day. Yesterday I said this is like the most beautiful day I think I've seen in Seattle in a while. Today might have beaten that.
Yeah, I think it was just as pretty at least, and it was certainly a lot warmer than it was 12 years ago when we did this the first time, and we were definitely freezing out there and then some. Today it was a beautiful day, and it felt a little bit more comfortable too. Look at all the people out there. They were covering every surface along the parade route, especially all of the balconies along these streets that were right over that parade procession. We are talking about beautiful weather today starting to fade out tomorrow. We'll start to see increasing clouds on Thursday, and they will be a sign of changing weather on Friday the 13th, no less. So a little bit of change in our weather luck just in time for a long holiday weekend. It's Valentine's Day. It's also President's Day. And all of a sudden, it looks like winter finally wants to show up. But we're still basking in the glow of our victory. And you can see the setting sun here over the Space Needle. A lot of people there on the Seattle Center grounds post-parade, just enjoying the leftover fun that was to be had over the Emerald City today. It was such a pretty day to be out celebrating. Currently 49, so we're losing our daytime heating. And just want to note, look at San Francisco and Santa Clara, still seeing that big disturbance churning into the Bay Area. So we lucked out with perfect weather there for Super Bowl, whereas we had the rainy conditions for watching the Super Bowl up here. And now we've had a reversal of weather fortune. It's raining down there, and it was bright today for our celebratory parade. A little bit of high cloud cover traipsing over the Cascades. Other than that, mostly sunny from the coast all the way into the Columbia Basin. Temperature Temperatures including 56 today in Aberdeen, 53 in the Yakima Valley, upper 40s in the heart of the San Juans, and 54 today in the heart of Lewis County in Centralia. So again, you see that low near the San Francisco Bay Area and another one hanging out in the Gulf of Alaska. That one will be our next weather maker as we head toward the end of the week and into the weekend. Here you see Saturday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That trough is digging deep over the west coast and it's starting to coax that cold air to come in from Canada. This will be that change we've been advertising for the midpoint of February. Second half of the month looks wet and cooler and just in the nick of time because goodness knows we could use some help with that depleted snowpack. So overnight tonight, it's chilly, it's foggy in the South Sound in particular. Could start out with a little bit of freezing fog around Tumwater, Lacey, or back toward Lakewood. Highs tomorrow, one more day back into the mid-50s. So looking and feeling like spring. Another pretty day. I think Preston will be impressed for 3 days in a row. 54 out of Marysville and about 54 out of Lake Steilacoom. Increasing clouds for the Strait and the Salish Sea. And at the beaches, that will be enough of an increase in the cloud deck to start to drop some mist or drizzle around Forks or Rialto Beach. Eastern Washington also one more really nice day with 43 out of the Wenatchee Valley. Well, it's nice to see nice weather, but it's also nice to get some mountain snow. And for that to happen, we need some lowland rain. We will get both as we head into the end of the week, especially by Friday night. So if you're celebrating out on the town, still with the Seahawks victory or maybe Valentine's Day a night early, that night looks damp. Leftover scattered showers on Saturday, and then a cool change as we head into next week. Molly and Preston, it looks like barely hitting the low 40s. What's happening? You know, it's been feeling like spring for so long around here. Winter finally deciding to show up. Could even see a few flurries in the mix around North Bend or Monroe next week. So, yeah, we'll take anything we can get here in what has been a very quiet winter.
I'm so happy about today's weather. Just whatever. Yeah. Wearing whatever on.
Absolutely. I agree.
Thanks.
Of course.
Coming up on KOMO News at 6 o'clock.
I'm Chris Angels in the middle of the parade route with reaction from fans who waited hours and the players.
Anti-ICE protesters disrupt a city council meeting in Tacoma as they call on local leaders to do more to disrupt the federal immigration enforcement crackdown.
We want to see your photos from today's championship celebration. We're talking your family decked out in Seahawks gear, unique setups along the parade route, or just cool moments around town. Just scan the QR code there at the bottom of your screen or head directly to komonews.com/chime in. A record number of people tuned in to watch this year's Super Bowl between the Seahawks and Patriots.
NBC, in fact, says it was the most watched program of its entire century on the air. Nielsen reports a whopping 124.9 million viewers, the second highest rating of any show in U.S. history, behind only last year's Super Bowl that aired on Fox. Viewership for Bad Bunny's halftime show tops the average for both those games. Nielsen saying it garnered more than 128 million watchers. A peak of 6 million tuned into YouTube for Turning Point USA's conservative alternative halftime show. Nielsen and YouTube do calculate their views differently.
All right, so next year it's our turn. ABC and KOMO 4 will be teaming up for Super Bowl 61 in Los Angeles. For the first time since 2006, you'll be able to watch it here live along with extended coverage in the days leading up to it.
We are excited about that. World News Tonight is coming up next, but first we want to take you back to today, a look at some of the highlights from today's championship parade.
The 12s, you guys are the best in the world, and now we're the best football team in the world. World
It was awesome. It was like a dream come true.
One overwhelming and deafening advantage for the Seahawks, and that is you, the 12. The loudest, most dedicated,